Let's bring in Doron Avital, former commander in Special Forces for the IDF, joining us live in studio this afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us. Violence during Ramadan is expected. It's a time where the tensions that are already there between Israeli forces and the Palestinians seem to always erupt. Talk to us about the events that happened last night and what it means for the rest of the month.
I think this is the greatest fear. From this we were cautioning about and worrying about the fact that one event on Temple Mount can cause an escalation that gets out of control. So those events, those pictures, those images are very tough and they can cause an escalation. Islamic Jihad reacted. I'm sure the Hamas knows about it. It's not like so the situation is the question whether this would escalate further. This is the question yet to be seen, but it's troublesome.
In years prior, we've seen that the Al-Aqsa has been a red line for the Palestinian factions, for the Palestinian Authority, and for the Palestinians themselves. When will there be some sort of different actions, either from Israeli forces or from the Palestinians, because this cycle of violence is continuous?
For sure. I think, first of all, we have to look at the big picture. There's this unrest in the political echelon in Israel. I mean, between the Minister of Police, the head of the police, we have the problem with the Defense Ministry, we have the problem. This unrest in Israeli political landscape also affects the way the police or the army act. But for sure, there's no question that we are trying to contain it, but things can get out of hand. So this is really my fear and other people's fear. I trust the head of the police that is very aware to the situation, and nobody wants an escalation now in those holidays, Passover, Easter, Ramadan. Whether they can contain it, I'm not sure. I hope so.
Hundreds of arrests last night after Palestinians barricaded themselves in the mosque. It's worth noting that though there were times agreed on for prayers and when the mosque would close, it's not uncommon for people to stay the night there, pray the evening prayers, read Quran all the way through the morning hours, pray the dawn prayer, and then leave to go home. There were hundreds of arrests yesterday. What can we expect to see from those people? What kind of questioning are they going to see?
I think the point is not to look now for who is guilty in the triggering of those events. The point is how to react in the calmest way possible to contain the event. I mean, this is the strategy, this is the tactic, this is what I think the police people are instructed. Something went off last night, and we have to see that immediately it's contained. Apart from that, there's no way to, I mean, one event can instigate an escalation in a magnitude that we don't want to see, but on the other hand, if things can be contained, this would be the best.
How concerned is the Israeli security apparatus on the hold that groups like Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad have on the youth of East Jerusalem?
The strategy of the Hamas was always to instigate some events or some terror attacks within the Palestinian territories, in the West Bank, but not to go into a full-scale attack from the Gaza Strip. But right now, they were, in some sense, it seemed that their hand was forced. They allowed the Islamic Jihad to shoot those rockets. They would wait for the Israeli response. Israeli responded, of course. But I don't think it's in their interest right now to go to a full-blown escalation in the Gaza Strip. They want to see the West Bank going on fire, but they don't want to see the Gaza Strip operation in the Gaza Strip. But it can happen. I mean, one more event like this, and things can go this way.
A lot of international reaction, international condemnation: Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. What's Israel going to do when its allies in the Middle East can no longer tolerate the actions that are going on?
This is the greatest strategic question that we have to put to our leaders. There's no question that the status quo in Temple Mount is key to our alliance with partners or peace partners like Egypt, like Jordan, and of course the new peace treaties that were signed in the Emirates, and of course the relationship with Saudi Arabia that has a strong position in the region. So I think it's completely within the interest of Israel to see the status quo kept to the letter, but disarray within Israeli politics can always affect us. There are many right-wing extreme voices that are trying to push the status quo. There's of course an interest that those extreme Islamic faction to try to instigate the event. The question whether the extremists will take hold on the situation or whether we can contain them.
Doron Avital, former commander in Israeli Special Forces, joining us live in studio this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.